Dear stranger, when I booked this trip, my friend said I was crazy. Why would I stay in someone else's house? But this morning, a city I've never been to felt like one I already knew. Everyone in your neighborhood was so warm and friendly. And your home was perfect. And peaceful. Oh, and then I met your friends. They reminded me of my friends. It felt like I had known them for years. It was almost like family. I just wanted to thank you for sharing your world with me. It felt like home. Airbnb, belong anywhere.
Airbnb is an online marketplace where people can list, discover and book unique accommodation across the world. Now you can stay with people from any multicultural background all across the world. How's that? Airbnb is a website that helps people rent out their empty rooms at home, and they have a ton of rooms. With more than 80,000 rooms in over 34,000 cities, with a total of 60 million guests. So initially this idea was founded by these two people who decided to offer up their floor space to two people coming up to San Francisco on a conference. Now it's a worldwide platform where millions of people offer their dwellings to other millions of people. It's a marketplace. On Airbnb, you can rent a tent, a mansion, a private island, a castle in France, or even a couch in the corner of someone's living room. To use Airbnb, you need a verified profile. To get a guest profile, you need your name, a bit about yourself, and a verification so hosts can check you out. To host your place, it's simple. You need photos of the accommodation, amenities, house rules, and availability. Airbnb makes its money in two different ways. They charge a guest service fee to the guests and a host service fee to the hosts. The best security feature is the verification of each profile and the information given by the host and the guest, so they can communicate and check each other out before booking anything.
Airbnb is using different types of advertising, such as TV, outdoor advertising, and online advertising.
The company uses Twitter and Facebook, which has over 1 million followers and likes, to promote its blog posts and particularly extraordinary listings. On Instagram, the brand posts user-generated photos that it curates from its hosts and guests.
Do It Day is a global event which brings together some of the world's biggest brands, with creatives to solve real-world challenges in just one day. Airbnb is one of the 17 major organizations that has posed problems for the industry to solve on Do It Day.
Over the years, Airbnb's blog has evolved into a content-rich resource for consumers. Also included on the blog is a recap of this year's first annual conference for hosts, where over 40 countries were represented.
Airbnb creates branded content pretty much everywhere. In 2014, they created a 128-page magazine called Pineapple, featured a variety of stories of their users. In 2014, they have also created a short video made entirely from vines, which demonstrated traveling and adventures across the world. Airbnb is also using celebrity to endorse their brand, such as Beyoncé, who spent $10,000 for just one night in Airbnb mansion.
Airbnb has many interesting listings, like this remake of a Van Gogh painting at the Art Institute in Chicago, which runs for $10 a night.
So, who is the consumer for Airbnb? Well, they have two core demographics, millennials and families. Millennials are aged 16 to 25-year-olds, and these are known as the trendsetters of today. 85% of Airbnb guests use it to live like a local, so they can get the real authentic experience wherever they go. The app, which is designed by Airbnb, is mainly targeted at the young traveller who doesn't want to go to the mainstream locations. Through the app, they can then have access to all the best local cuisine and locations to go to, which all the young, cool, trendy travellers would rather do. The 16 and 25-year-old traveller that Airbnb are targeting would rather spend their cherished money on an experience, on a holiday, rather than on a house or a home or a mortgage. They mainly target families through their All in the Family campaign. Airbnb is a family setup. You're going into a home which has kids' bedrooms, kids' amenities, for example, pool, playgrounds and things like that. You can even have bikes that you can rent so your children can go and play. It's more space for less money, which families really need, especially on a budget. On Airbnb, their family-friendly listings are growing daily. A family of 4 could save on average 27% on accommodation with Airbnb. 93% of family travellers would recommend the home they stayed in to a family friend or a relative. 30% of family travellers say they wouldn't have stayed for as long in their destination without the affordability of Airbnb. Airbnb appeals to families of all different wealths and backgrounds, frequently middle class. They believe that corporations don't have enough heart. Therefore, Airbnb focuses on the heart and passion to target this market. They don't like to give money to big corporations, so Airbnb is very appealing to this target market as it's helping out the local communities and average people get a little more income. Value and authenticity are what this group focuses on most. Airbnb targets both traditional and LGBTQ families. With their brand new community commitment, it helps all families feel more welcome and like they belong in the community. It means that hosts have to treat all of their guests equally, eradicating any bias or discrimination amongst the Airbnb community. Most of Airbnb's marketing communications is aimed towards the guest side of Airbnb. However, there is another side of their consumer, the hosts. The host can be a host for many various reasons, but the main factor is money. It can be a part-time mother who at home would just like to make some extra cash around the house, or it could be the rich business traveller who, when he leaves his home, he can then rent that out for a little extra income. Airbnb also appeals to the wealthier end of the spectrum, who can rent out their vacation homes whilst they're at work, so they can give travellers a unique experience. The shopper journey model allows us to better understand consumer buying behaviour. Step 1 of the process is young travellers and families will decide to use Airbnb based on research, word of mouth, and seeing adverts on TV. Step 2, the guests will browse social networks for reviews and recommendations of Airbnb. Step 3, the guest will search through the Airbnb listings, factoring in acceptable trade-offs like price, availability, and location. Step 4, shoppers will choose the most convenient platform for searching listings, either on the website or using the mobile app. Step 5, guests stay for their visit, establishing a good or bad or indifferent perception of Airbnb that becomes a shared perception within the family unit. Step 6, the guests and hosts will then publicly rate and review their experience, good or bad, on social networks, on the respective host and guest review page. As well as word of mouth, friends, followers and co-workers will also hear the review through conversation. Step 7. This journey will lead the guests to be either a happy repeat customer or the user is not happy due to disliking their service, considering the price not value for money, or has a negative experience with Airbnb. Airbnb has ambitious growth predictions, but most consumers still prefer traditional hotels. Despite the £16 billion valuation placed on Airbnb this summer, second behind the Hilton's worldwide £18.1 billion valuation, Mintel data shows how just 3% of UK consumers used a lodging service similar to Airbnb. In addition to this low figure, just 17% say they would prefer to stay in Airbnb-style accommodation over a hotel.
We have used the AIDA model, awareness, interest, desire and action, to identify the different cognitive stages among individuals who use Airbnb. What's great about this communication model is that it shows the purchasing process where buyers go to and fro each stages. This helps support them making their final decision. Going through this communication model, we start with awareness. So Airbnb generated a campaign called Live Like a Local that generated over 21,000 tags. They also used celebrity endorsements such as Beyonce and Bieber to help promote awareness for the brand. Airbnb has used marketing content to generate interest.
they brought out a magazine called Pineapple, which was to increase people's inspiration to travel with Airbnb. They also have used other platforms such as blogs and their website to pump up more interest for the brand. So following on from interest is desire, Airbnb uses a lot of direct marketing to do this. For instance, they send out a lot of emails to inspire people to go on their next holiday, posting new accommodations that's been listed on their website. And lastly, we have action. So Airbnb have both websites and applications that you can download on your mobile phone or tablet. Now what they do is once you've actually created a profile with them, they use a form of classical conditioning where they reward you with money off your next trip, especially if you invite friends to the website. This is a real way of positively reinforcing the consumer.
Airbnb introduced their new app, which offers users a range of new features, including greater personalization, travel guidebooks, and insider tips. Personalization uses a matching system designed to understand travelers' preferences before matching them with homes and experiences which align with their specifications. Launching with 691 neighborhoods in 23 cities around the globe, travelers would have the chance to experience places as a local.
Yeah, I've used Airbnb on several occasions with family and loved ones.
Yes, I have.
Yes, I've used it once when me and 4 of my friends went to Amsterdam.
So every time I've used Airbnb, I've used it to book accommodation. I've not actually used the service to host.
I booked accommodation when I went to Paris last year, and I've booked accommodation going to Dublin this year.
I found it really good. They kept us up to date with any information that they wanted to give us by text message, which was really handy. So whatever we needed, whatever she needed, it was just text and it was so easy.
Location and price.
My favourite thing about Airbnb is how convenient it is to book online, and how actually you only need a short period to book and then visit.
Community.
So the only thing that I could highlight as being a disappointing feature of Airbnb is their webpage. Their website's really bad technically, quite faulty.
Good question. Maybe the fact that you don't quite know who the host is probably a pretty fickle subject.
I think to be marketed, promoted a lot more. People don't think it's legit, and it is. And I think it's like people should use it a lot more, and it should be just publicised a lot more.
Yeah, I'd use Airbnb every year for the rest of my life.
I would 100% do it again. I recommend to any friend as well, because I think it's just so much better than paying for a hotel when you can get the same, if better prices.
If I had to describe Airbnb in one word, it would be international.
Community.
Authentic.
Unique.
Sociable.
Community.
Memories.
Здравей, Стефи.
Здрасти, Нина.
Разпознаваш ли това лого?
Да, това е логото на Airbnb.
Пътувала ли си някога с Airbnb?
Никога не съм пътувала, но имам такива планове.
Какви са плановете ти за бъдещето?
Мислим да се местим в някаква в Италия, защото е много по-евтино, отколкото в хотелите.
Така, как би го описала с една дума?
Модерно.
Чудесно. Има ли нещо, някакъв негативен коментар, който да отправиш към Airbnb?
Да, като българка не съм срещала в България такива опции. И заради това мисля, че ще е много по-добре, ако се зададат за хора, които пътуват, за туристи най-вече.
Здравей, Жози! Разпознаваш ли това лого?
Да, това е Airbnb.
Пътувала ли си някога с Airbnb?
Веднъж всъщност бях пътувала, да. Беше преди около година и половина, когато идвах да уча тук и още нямаше къде да живея. Затова бях паднала на това приложение и го пробвах и преди един месец всъщност живях в една къща в Лондон, преди да си намеря постоянно място за живеене.
Как разбра за Airbnb?
Мисля, че бях в някакъв уебсайт и имаше някаква реклама страни и така попадна случайно и точно беше когато трябваше, подходящ момент.
Как би описала Airbnb с една дума?
Иновативно.
Има ли нещо, което не харесваш в Airbnb?
Това, че все пак има някакви неща, които не очакваш и може да има неприятни изненади в последствията от това, което си избрал. Но освен това, мисля, че е готино.
Би ли го препоръчала на приятел?
В екстремни ситуации, да.
So when looking at the competitors of Airbnb, we have to remember that the company have only been in business for the past 7 years, whereas rental properties have been going on, since about 15 years ago, since internet kind of came about. There have been companies that have created vacation websites. When Airbnb entered into the market, they saw a way to grab market share by charging nothing up front and only taking booking fees when bookings were confirmed. Currently, Airbnb have two competitors. First is Home and Away and second is Flipkey. Now these competitors already existed when Airbnb came into the market, but because Airbnb came in with such a strong strategy, they actually had to change their strategy in order to compete. An example of the way that they had to change their strategy is both Flipkey and Home and Away had to adapt what they used to do, which was to charge an annual fee to account members and offer a pay-as-you-go fee per booking.
Overall, Airbnb offers substantially more rental properties around the world than any other player in the market, as seen in this Mintel figure that shows Airbnb having 2 million listings, far exceeding competitors, resulting in them dominating the market in this sector. When comparing Flipkey and Home and Away, both agencies show to have an impressive website. However, Home and Away allows advertisers on their site, which makes the overall appearance of their website not so attractive. Flipkey has a great user interface, which is probably down to the strong financial backing as it's owned by TripAdvisor. However, according to a Mintel report, the brand continues to struggle to grow and gain new members. Just like Airbnb, both brands offer an app to consumers wishing to use their services on portable devices. However, Flipkey's app is just an extension of the TripAdvisor app.
What improvements did Airbnb carry out?
For the old system, reviews were published as soon as they were submitted. But for the new system, reviews are published only after both the guest and the host have submitted theirs.
Airbnb changed their review system in order to be more fair and to protect the interests of both sides. The feedback actually showed that people are more willing to try the service that way.
Airbnb daily booking had tripled after they implemented the referral program. When users refer new participants to the site via email invitation, they also receive credit when they first time hosted a guest. Airbnb benefited by having to pay out the referrals after the new user paid into the new system. Allow Airbnb to grow sustainably with its own referral system.
So through analyzing Airbnb, we can see that the brand has a strong understanding of their target market.
And they use the correct appeal to the lifestyle in integrated communication to attract their target audience.
As a younger company with a strong salience on young folks, Airbnb's branded itself as a sharing brand, which, according to Goldman Sachs, correlates to the millennial customers' buying pattern.
This generation, which is also our generation, has given birth to the ideas of sharing economy, which allows consumer access rather than ownership. It is important to make note of how we can evaluate Airbnb's level of success.
For example, CBRE Hotels compiled information on Airbnb's sharing platform to that of traditional hotels.
From that data, they have developed an Airbnb competition index to compare the average daily room rate of Airbnb and the traditional hotels.
And that's so that they can scale Airbnb's growth to that of traditional hotels and help measure potential risk against those hotels. So what has Airbnb achieved? They've integrated their marketing communications by focusing online. They've revolutionized the hospitality industry, and they've taken advantage of the sharing economy's peer-to-peer marketplace.
To enhance confidence of travelers and hosts towards Airbnb, they have to increase transparency, strengthen the verifications process on its platform. Also, they can set up an emergency team in case of anything happens of the travelers and hosts to provide services to support them.
We recommend that Airbnb continue to expand globally, as the brand is already operating in a majority of the world, we suggest that they continue to fight against legislation that has banned the rental of properties through their website. Co-founder Brian Chesky says that at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is bring the world together. You're not getting a room, you're getting a sense of belonging.
We hope you enjoyed our video. Thanks for watching!